All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dowell. Hey, check it out. I have a lot of people that are coming from different religious backgrounds. And of course, it's a big concern of theirs about the doctrine of divorce. Now, we all know that in America, 70% of brand new marriages end in divorce. As a matter of fact, that's not pretty good odds right there. There's so much I can say on this particular subject, but I'm going to go two ways, all right, and try to do what I can to provide truth. That's the reason why the ministry is called the Straightway Truth. First of all, number one, there's nothing in the Bible that states that God hates divorce. Nowhere does it say that. As a matter of fact, if you go to Malachi chapter 2, start at verse 14, 15, and 16, you'll see that he hates the putting away. Putting away is totally different than divorce. And the reason why that the Most High Yah does not hate divorce, because he made a provision for divorce over in the law in Deuteronomy 24. Now, I know that a lot of people in church doctrines and ministries and people have their own perspectives and ideal about divorce. But, just like I do, why concern yourself with people who put tradition above truth? Because tradition is not above truth. Truth is always above tradition. And of course, when Paul said over in Romans 7, I speak to them that know the law, everybody don't know the law. A lot of times when you go to these churches, a lot of times you go to these preachers and teachers, they're regurgitating and rehashing what some preacher or some teachers already said before them, or they're preaching and teaching church dogma or church doctrine that has nothing to do with the Bible. Who told you that church is synonymous with the Bible and the Bible is synonymous with church? Just know that they're two total different entities. The Bible or the scriptures, it speaks for itself, it defines for itself. The problem that we're having is interpretation, because everybody out here believes that whatever church they go to, that all interpretations are equally valid. And that's just not so. People do not use proper exegesis or eisegesis. And I'm not going to go off in that, because then that's just digressing into another whole horse of an animal of a different color. But let me go ahead and say this. All right, listen to me real close. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that God hates divorce. He said he hates the putting away. And of course, you read Matthew 5. You have to go and look behind the English words presented, because it actually is doing some mistranslation there. So look behind the words, kind of like over in Acts chapter 12, verse 3, when it's using a word Easter there. That's a mistranslation. When you look behind the word, it's Pesca. All right, so when you read about the divorce provision, and you'll go find that over in Deuteronomy 24, start at verse 1. Now, when you go read it, it clearly tells you that if a man is going to divorce his wife, he gives her a bill of divorce, and then after that, she may freely go out to be another man's wife. What is the purpose of that? Well, the purpose of that is so that her reputation is not slandered, so that she is not slandered and has a stigma up on her in Israel, so that she can go out and be another man's wife just because it didn't work out with this husband. Of course, then people would tell you that, you're supposed to be married till death do your part, and all these state or these social vows that people put because of their church doctrine. All that is just a bunch of bogus junk. But anyway, and some people tell you, you're supposed to be married until you die, and then after, you can't get divorced, and if you get divorced, you commit adultery. All that is nonsense. That is just spiritual nonsense. It ain't even spiritual nonsense. It's just nonsense. All right, here we go. Deuteronomy 24. First of all, number one, if it was speaking that a man had to put away his wife for divorce back then because of adultery, that is an automatic fundamental no-go. Why? Because there was a law already for adultery. You wouldn't need divorce because you got stoned to death back then. Death was the provision. That was the law. So when it says because he has found some uncleanliness, well, we can definitely see that today. because, you know, everybody in this world, especially in the family structures, has roles. The man has the role of providing food, clothing, conjugal rights, and protections. That's the law. If we're going to stick with the law, the woman is there to agree and then submit, meaning she is under submission to him. She is under his mission, because the Bible says over in Genesis that her desire will be to her husband, and he shall rule over thee. So what are some of the uncleannesses? That's the trouble right there. Well, some of the uncleannesses is rebellion. Rebellion. Because there are a lot of rebellion, stubborn, stiff-necked, obstinate, vindictive, controlling, ruling, Jezebel, wicked witches of women out here today. They're just trying to rule the roost and rule the husbands. And of course, this society promotes that. So under that provision, an uncleanliness would be just flat-out rebellion. And of course, we have that systemically today. The woman is not the head of the family, and neither is there equal authority delegated in that. All you got to do is read 1 Corinthians chapter 11. It tells you that. But however, when we look at this thing for what it says, excuse me, they're cutting grass out. They got me on. Anyway, we see that a lot of church doctrines and a lot of things that people say are suspect because they don't have the spirit of truth within them. Also, the reason why the Most High Yah hates the putting away is because this used to be a problem in Israel a long time ago, that if they didn't like what their wife did, then they just put her away. They would abandon her. That's putting away. They would drop her off and leave her somewhere. That's putting away. They would no longer provide for her and would not give her a bill of divorce to be released. And when a woman did not receive a bill of divorce to be released, guess what happened? That would end up causing her to go out and commit adultery, because she was still married because of this wicked man dealing with the wife treacherously, which the Most High Yah has a judgment for that. And it's a sad situation. So you got to have elders, you got to have preachers and teachers who know what the law says and not what church dogma says, to stop all the confusion. So, and if it was for fornication, the law already states on what to do with that. As a matter of fact, there's no word in the Hebrew or the Torah called fornication. It's mentioned whoredoms. And of course, it tells you what the judgment is for that. So the uncleanliness is not for her going out committing adultery. You could put her away. That's church dogma. There was some uncleanliness in this woman, kind of like in America, rebellion, back-talking, stubbornness, stiff-neckedness and stuff. That would be the cause for her to actually be put away, or to receive a bill of divorce from her husband. Hope it says something to stimulate thought. And I hope that you all are really getting what I'm saying, because people are confused today about a lot of things. And if you're going to know the truth, again, you're going to have to listen to someone who has the spirit of truth. You have to come out of these wicked churches, because they ain't going to tell you the truth. How in the world can you expect a church to tell you the truth when they celebrate Christmas, Easter, Sunday, Santa Claus, an unclean rabbit laying eggs, and having barbecues and pork and hog jaw? And if they can't come to the simple truth on stuff like that, what do you expect, or why do you expect for them to be able to tell you the truth? They're not going to do that. Christianity is not the religion that the God of the Hebrews gave the world. As a matter of fact, you go read John the 4th chapter, salvation is of the Yehudim, and that is not the modern day transplants or these people who have came in and hijacked the faith of the Hebrew Israelites and now call themselves Jews. And now they have placed themselves in front of the people of Yah, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. My name is Pastor Dowell. I also have a Pateron channel. When I get home, I include links below. If you want to, you can actually go back to some of the previous videos and look down below. There's information how you can actually get more information on teachings like this of truth, that it can actually set a lot of people free, because church dogma loves putting people under religious bondages. Church dogma loves putting people under some type of restriction so they can have power and rule over them. Well, there's one thing about truth. Truth always sets free, and the lies always bind. No condemnation to them who are in Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Hope y'all have a wonderful day.